MakingStarWars.net.
Hello, me. By hello, me, I mean this guy. How's it going? I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And this is a little thing I wanted to share earlier. Just finally got to it. And I think if I could turn the sound on my computer so you don't hear me getting text messages constantly. Yeah, I'll pull up the article that I just did. This has been a little bit out in the ether once people saw that the kid's name was Corran. And I did my best. And I think I got a little bit of payoff from this. The expanded universe's Corran Horn is in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Put it as a question because I think in a weird way this is still a little bit of an open concept. But recently my scooping adventures took me to sunny Burbank, California. I was able to see some pretty neat stuff pertaining to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. What I can confirm is pretty fun for expanded universe fans watching Kenobi. The fans that love the books and enjoy the current canon are going to be pretty pleased, I would think. Remember them? That's little Corran if you read the credits at the end. And the sequence in question begins at the 5:11 mark of season, or 5 minutes 11 seconds mark of season 1, episode 2, Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. A little boy and his mother are being taken for all their credits and being sent off to Corellia by Haja the Swindler. Haja got them safe, just a little poorer. So while in Burbank, I saw a cast list for season 1, episode 2 of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. I checked on the mother's listing. If you check the credits, you would think the little boy's mother is probably unnamed, if not irrelevant. She was a gullible mark for Haja, after all, but you would be wrong. I think her name is Marie. I don't know if it's Maurice Alvarez or Maurice Alvarez, but I can confirm that Maurice Alvarez is listed as playing. Is that Nietzsche or Nietzsche? I don't know, but anyways, that NYCHE on call sheets for the production of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I have seen Nietzsche on official internal documents. The little boy does have his character named in the cast list of the episode itself, and his name is Corran. This connection is significant. Corran Horn from the expanded universe also has a mother named Nietzsche or Nietzsche. I think this confirmation of the mother's name is a pretty big indicator that Corran Horn that this is Corran Horn on screen in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we are seeing him sent to Corellia, where he will become a Force sensitive who serves in the Corellian security forces before becoming an X-Wing pilot, Jedi Master under the tutelage of Luke Skywalker. In my opinion, this is planting the seeds for expanded universe concepts to re-emerge in the current Star Wars canon. The mother's name is likely held from the cast list along with their surnames as to not promise or commit to a concept. But you can see the agenda to push Corran Horn into future Star Wars is there. I wonder if they made it to Corellia or if we will see them on Jabeam. After all, Tala Dureth did say the path all leads to Jabeam. Our burned hero, Obi-Wan Kenobi, is on the way to Jabeam pretty soon. So keep your eyes peeled on those background characters for Nietzsche. I don't know how you say that name, and Corran. And then I said, what do you think? Do you buy it? Let me know. You know, we don't have the last name. You know what I'm saying? But and like I said, it was out in the ether a little bit. But I know for a fact, that is the name. I have seen it on documents. It's not just like, you know what I mean? Like anybody can go and just add it to a listing somewhere. So I'm not trying to talk, on Eckert or whatever. I didn't see their video. I don't know about anything about it, but I mentioned this a couple of days ago on the show because I was going to get to it, just finally getting into it now, but I saw the confirmation. So, yeah. So if you really, really do like the expanded universe and the current Star Wars canon, I think you're going to be happy. And I want those people to be happy. And I think it's cool that concepts and ideas from the expanded universe are being pushed into this canon, because it could mean things later on. Like, when we get to Luke Skywalker's show, that could be a character. There could be more to him. Excuse me. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty neat, I have to be honest, though. I read a lot of stuff with that character in the 90s, I want to say, but not a lot of it stuck with me. But it was a fun character. He was sort of like your alternate Luke Skywalker in a way, in terms of like X-wing pilot who becomes force sensitive, then becomes a Jedi master and stuff. So yeah. Arya says, I doubt people will notice this person in GL unless they show him fully and say his name. No, I'm not gonna lie, unless they show his name. And yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, so the other idea or thing that I don't know the answer to this. This isn't like me foreshadowing anything or any kind of like scoop stuff or any of that jazz. But I'm curious if there's a possibility that we're going to see them on Jabim, because it says that every place goes there. He does say send them to Corellia, but does he just send people directly to where they're going, or does it or do they go to Jabim before shipping out? Because if they do go to Jabim before shipping out, Kenobi's going to meet up back up with them. They're going to like intersect again. But will it be significant, or will it just be in the background, or did they just go right to Corellia? I mean, anything's possible. But to the best of my knowledge, no Ahsoka in the Kenobi series. Yeah, I in fact I mean, like, this is like the weirdest. What we're talking about right now is like the weirdest cameo, I guess, because it was so under the radar. It was like so subtle. Most of us, or most people, didn't even really notice it. But yeah, and I don't know if people saw this either. Just on a side note, also like Ned B, there's nobody in there. Just to like be super clear, like if anybody needs that, those aren't suits; those are just robots. And so that's a robot man, just in case anybody's wondering. But I wonder what other Jedi are on Jabim. Yeah, that's a pretty good question. Like, because they're like force sensitives, but there could be Jedi too. And that was a very locked down like couple of days when they were filming that stuff for what it's worth. And so, but I think it's I think it's notable when we have stuff going on in the Kenobi series, because I don't think things are necessarily designed to talk to each other from the very start. Like I don't know if what's Joby Harold was like, oh yeah, I gotta include that. Most likely, I mean, I'm theorizing, but most likely he was like, yeah, there's this little boy Jedi and his mom, and then they probably like asked somebody like Pablo Hidalgo, what should we go with, and they probably sent them Corran Horn. You know what I mean? And they probably just like, there it is now. And it's not like I don't think there's like a smoky room with Kathy Kennedy smoking a cigar, and she's like, how are we gonna get Corran Horn in this one, huh? I don't think that's like a thing. But I think when they kind of push the seeds of that in there, and then they start to go, well, we need a Jedi, and they're like, well, we did have Corran Horn going to Corellia, like that kind of thing. I think that might be what's going to happen or what's happening, but that's just my theory on that part. I don't know. If the writers went so deep into the lore just to include this kid, then we might see something special in Jabim. Yeah, I keep saying Jabim. But yeah, I mean, maybe, but maybe not. I mean, like I said, it may not really be that deep. It's like sometimes we tend to go and feel like there's some kind of like grand conspiracy to make things happen. And sometimes it's just really like, yeah, okay, what do we need? But also like probably the same thing happened with like Quinlan Voss, I would imagine too. They were like, what Jedi would be involved in this? Because I don't believe we're going to see Quinlan Voss. Like I hope it happens. I think it would be rad, but I haven't had any confirmation. Everybody I've asked have just been like, I don't think so. But when they do pick up on the concept, we're more likely to see Quinlan Voss now because of that really big moment with there, Hey, it's Jar Jar. I mean, Mr. Binks, Master Binks, Master Binkin. How's it going, dude? So I feel like Reva is going to be like Mara Jade. Yeah, that could be. It could kind of go into that sort of direction with her. Not that she would be like a Mara Jade surrogate where she like gets in a romantic relationship with Luke Skywalker. The age difference is pretty drastic, and I don't think 20-year-old Luke Skywalker would know what to do with a like 40-year-old woman, honestly. I don't either. Cal Kestis on Jabim. I doubt it very much though. Right? That one makes the most sense. Like that was the one I was fishing for because I started to feel like they gotta do it. Like they're totally gonna do it. You know what I mean? But I don't have any like confirmation of that. But I also think that would be a pretty easy thing to like sneak under the radar, especially like when they're making the video game and stuff. Like to just like, you know, everyone's like, I mean, if it's like an Attack of the Clones kind of cameo, you know, where there's just Jedi's who come into frame and go. But I would love to see that. Also, though, I kind of wonder if there would be sort of a conflict in trying to get the stories to line up and like get Cal to be in these places. If there would be any issues like making that work, and there may be constrictions upon the premises of both of these stories that makes it where it can't happen. But I hope it does. As the creator of Mara Jade, Angry George. Wait, did you just say the creator of Mara Jade?
I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now. I don't want you here.
So why'd you say that, man? Well, why'd you bring that up? You know how George gets. Darth Grogu, how's it going, dude? Thomas Shane says, finally made one today. Thanks for working hard for us. Very much appreciated. All right. Good work, Tomas. Arya says, the most we probably get is a name drop of Cal. I don't expect to see him at all. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if maybe like Jabim, if we look at it as a series of stops, and then Jabim is like the main hub of the safe house sort of lineage or whatever line, then maybe Cal is working that. Maybe this game is about setting that up to some extent or involves that, because it does seem like the natural next place for Cal to go, unless Cal ends up like in just a shit ton of trouble on the run the whole time and never really meets up with anybody and gets to like catch up, you know, like sunburned from that hot sun today. Brennan says they did show Cal promoting his lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge not too long ago, so that is why I'm speculating. Yeah, it would be cool if that lightsaber was designed for the Kenobi series. You know what I mean? It really could go that way. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't have a confirmation of that and haven't. And but believe me, guys, I tried. So it makes me think it's not happening, but also I'm not arrogant enough to think that like I know every single thing or anything like that. So it could completely be happening. And fingers crossed on Voss, fingers crossed on Cal. And I wouldn't mind even seeing a little Corran Horn again, you know? Why not? Master Bing says, I want to give Frick a big hug because he seemed like someone who I can sip juice with, but then I wanted to cut his head off. Yeah, we were kind of laughing at that guy, about that guy, because it's like, you know, it's kind of like that guy, you know, where you're just like, you know, he's like, seems really nice and lovable. He's very affable. And then he's like, you know, we should probably build a wall. You know, it kind of has that going on. Angry George is the best, George. Yeah, you said it. You do suck. Violet says Hayden Christensen's barely in the show. I hope he has more scenes. Yeah, I think when the mask is cracked in that duel, that will be a really probably when we get the most of like, what's he look like when he's Darth Vader in as Darth Vader, like Darth Vader in, you know what I mean? Like other than like, I guess we did have like that whole Jedi Temple scene with him, but I mean like in the suit. And then the big scene though is obviously when we have him in the flashback sequence where they're going to like do their Jedi sparring thing. Like that's where we'll see Anakin and as Hayden Christensen as Anakin in like a real prominent way. And that will give you your Anakin fix for now. Alexander says, loving the work lately, Jason. Congrats on your latest work. Slightly off topic, but will we get much Vader from now until the second fight? Or is the screen time limited until then? Thanks, Alexander. I got to be honest, I'm not exactly sure how significant Darth Vader is in the Nur episodes. Like, there's like I know the dude's around, but it doesn't seem like there's like a lot to really put together to like for me on my end anyways to like say how important his stuff is there. But like for a time I thought I had the order because of filming stuff like backwards, and I thought they went from Nerd to the first fight, like they went in to save Leia. It was like and then he had to fight him then, but nope, turns out not. I like the Underground Railroad type of feel with the Jedi. Yeah, to me actually that's like the most like surprising and fresh new aspect of the new series is that kind of concept. And it's one I always imagined would be a part of the whole Star Wars lore. Like when I was like a little kid, I just imagined that would be, an angle that they would take. And then we never really got it on screen, which was kind of strange in a way, but I'm glad we're finally getting it. And I think the Kenobi side of series is a good way to like open that up and to introduce that concept, because I do think honestly that the concept of the path is probably a bigger concept than they've done yet, like in the sense that it's during the dark times. There's all these Jedi kids or young Jedi people that are trying to be hidden. You have all the concepts of stories that people like, they're trying to relocate people. Like there's a whole thing there that I could see with somebody who was really into the concept, really just taking it and running with it and making it something rad. But Arya says, sorry, it's already been explained. What does Jabim look like? Don't tell me it's another planet with sand. Mapuzo was the line for me. Mapuzo has sand in it. Well, all I really know is based off of like what the set was down in Manhattan, right? And for like the main set was an interior location, and it was like a sinkhole, like a Republic base with a sinkhole in it. So right now, all I could really say is take that concept in your mind, the concept art that you saw with like the snow speeders, from was it Disney Plus Day? I don't remember what it was now, but take those concepts together, and then probably what you see in the comic books is probably what the exteriors are going to look like, but I'm not completely 100% sure on that, because like I said, I just know what they filmed. I didn't get to see anything like concept art or something that would really inform me on that one. Master Binks, I like Tala's acting in this episode. Good chemistry with Leia. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I think Tala's fantastic. Like, I kind of feel like she's gonna die, you guys, but I hope she doesn't. But I feel like she's gonna die, because next episode we go to Nur. We got to save Leia, and I got a feeling Tala is our way in. Tala's like Tala's the like, remember in Rise of Skywalker how there's like that captain's medallion, and what's her name gives it to Poe Dameron. I think that we're gonna have a situation kind of like that. That's my take. But Arya says, don't we see flashbacks in episode 4 because he is burnt and needs to heal? So right now he is burnt and needs to heal. Yes. Yeah. But I still if I got my shit right, see, it's a little confusing because like of the way that things were filmed. And like I said, I have some things turned around about the order at one point, because I'm just putting it all into like boom, 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 boom in order and trying to do my best to make it connect with like both the pieces I do get, right? So there are some other places in this next episode. In episode 4, there's some other stuff, but he needs to heal up. That's what I would say from what I feel like I know concretely. And it's very obvious, but he needs to heal up in this next episode. We have the nurse stuff. And then I think in the 5th, I was always under the impression that at the 5th episode was where the flashback took place. And a friend at ILM was just saying some shit about that. And he was like, yeah, it's for the 5th episode. So I've always thought, so unless that person was wrong, I expect the flashback to be in episode 5. But things have kind of moved down a little bit. So maybe it's going to go maybe it's going to go another way, but I would expect it in 5. Hey, Ty, how's it going? Hello, Mr. Jason Ward. What about Kanan Jarrus? He would be about 15 years old when the Kenobi show takes place. I just subscribed today. Thank you, Ty, for subscribing, man. I appreciate that. And I go live pretty consistently at 11 a.m. every day. But on days like today, where it's just like a bunch of like stuff I need to get out, I go live all the time. So make sure you got the bell thing toggled, so that way if you want to get the updates or whatever. But thank you, Ty, and thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel and likes the video. You guys are the best. Darth Grogu, channel member, evilest baby I know. The Obi-Wan Anakin flashback is going to hit right in the feels. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be rad. I think it's going to be good. Like, the people worked really hard on it, so I think it's going to be really, really, really good. And Anakin looked really cool in that one shot we saw. And I was kind of happy about that. Like, it kind of made it easier. Like, I liked the idea that they used that as sort of the avatar for his post-traumatic stress or the premonition of Vader coming, because then it's like we got to see a new shot of Anakin, and I was like, okay, I feel a little satiated now. I can let that go for a little bit. They kind of knew us on that one, I think. Master Bink says, can't wait for Obi-Wan's twin brother to come in and sacrifice himself to Vader, distracting him, and Obi-Wan killing Vader. It'd be the best thing Disney ever did. It's a twin brother too. My drummer today was like writing me, he's like, dude, they're gonna put Obi-Wan's brother in it, right? And I was just like, I don't think so. And it's like, fuck. But I don't think so. But wouldn't it be cool if we had something like that? Like, if that did happen, if in season 2 Obi-Wan's brother turned up, or he found his brother or something like that, and it'd be kind of like lost brother, gained a brother, then it gains another brother by the end of Return of the Jedi, and all the brothers are back. But it does definitely open up the possibility for future trilogies, family lineage, and stuff like that. Just like that door was kicked wide open with that, so that's pretty rad. Brennan, how's it going? I don't care if it is essential to the plot line or not, but they have to show new prequel scenes with Anakin, or it's a big waste, in my opinion. There is one, and I mean, like I said, I think it's a flashback to like a Jedi training kind of session. Might even be a Jedi training facility. Like, I'm not 100% positive. I keep imagining like almost like that room, that dojo from Star Wars Rebels, where the Grand Inquisitor, is in, where you see is like the flashback to him when he was a Jedi. And I kind of almost think it's like that, but I could be wrong. For all I know, they're like jumping on trees and shit, But we will see like, I was told, 19-year-old Anakin with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're like training and they're trash talking each other. And he's like telling him, like, here's the problem with you. And he's like, here's the problem with you. And so he has a weakness. But the only problem with the idea, I think, that Anakin trained him so he knows the stuff about him, is it kind of implies Darth Sidious never trained him in any lightsaber stuff. Which, man, Darth Sidious, not a good Sith master, are you? This is where the fun continues, says Ty Cox. Thank you. Ty Cox says, I'm curious how Kenobi will end in episode 6. Yeah, well, like we know quite a bit about how it goes. And like, so like, basically, he from what we know of the ending, Obi-Wan Kenobi is fighting the final duel against Anakin, Darth Vader, and he has to get back to Tatooine because Reva is going there to get Luke. He chases her to Tatooine. She gets there just before him, and then she's gonna kill Luke, and then she doesn't do it, and then now she just leaves. She just, like, he lets her leave. She just like leaves. She can't do it, and I guess that's a big question, is what happens to Reva after this. So I think we'll have to wait till season 2, and then we get into and then Obi-Wan Kenobi. The boy's safe, everything's fine. Owen and Beru are okay, and then he goes to go home, and I guess he leaves, and then Uncle Owen, I guess, gives the T-16 toy that he couldn't have to Luke. I don't know if they bought a new one. I don't know actually how the lineage of that works. It looked like he threw it down on the ground and then it was like there, but it comes back somehow. Maybe Obi-Wan goes and buys a brand new one. I don't know, but there's a new one, or there's a T16, and then he gives it to Luke, and Luke is happy, and then Obi-Wan goes home, and then Qui-Gon Jinn is waiting there for him, and so he's not alone, and he's learned a big secret about how to the fact that I think like hope and positivity to some extent are needed to be able to see Qui-Gon. And I don't know Qui-Gon's direct dialogue, but his direct dialogue is like, what took you so long? And basically, I've been here the whole time. That's essentially what he says to him. And then, and then I've heard that the last shot is Obi-Wan riding off into the sunset on the Eopie. Darth Grogu says, in your opinion, any slight chance of a Grogu cameo with the other Force sensitives on Jabim? Anything is possible. Like that would be really rad. But I'll be totally honest with you, Darth Grogu. If I had Grogu in the Kenobi series, you bet your ass there would be an article about it. Okay, like there would already be an article. Like it would exist right now, and I don't. And yeah, so just kind of that's where we're at. I also like to a certain extent, like I think that could be cool, but I also think that like if they were going to go that way, they probably would have done it in the opening of the series when you see the 4 Jedi kids running away from the temple trying to escape, like, and I think Grogu would have been in that probably. That probably would have been like the best moment. But at the same time, I could see if you put him there, people are going to expect him to come back, and he wouldn't. Probably not, anyways. So maybe that's why it doesn't go that way. But I kind of think that things might go really south for the people on Jabim for the most part. And like I said, I know what they were filming, but I have no idea. Like for instance, like just to kind of try to like give you like an example, if you like imagine. You know that they were filming like Attack of the Clones. Jedi. Remember all the ILM people and just actors went off that just going the lightsabers ready for the duel on Geonosis. Well, if you heard about them filming that, you may like leave thinking that like, whoa, there's hundreds of Jedi and they're all just, they're all just like with their lightsabers out and stuff like that. And it kind of does happen that way, but it kind of doesn't happen that way at the same time. So I don't know what the scale of it is. And one of the things about the TV show versus what you hear, like what you hear cinematically in your mind can oftentimes be bigger than what the TV show does. So in my opinion, I say no Grogu. And I think that at the moment with the Force sensitives, like will probably be pretty intriguing, but I'm not expecting a lot. I'm hoping for a lot, though. I'm not saying there won't be a lot. I'm hoping for a lot. Ty says, little girl that plays young Leia is cute. Yeah, she is. She's really, really good actor, too. Like a couple of those moments, man, like when Obi-Wan takes the gun and he's pointing, that stormtrooper has the gun at Leia's head. And when he shoots the stormtrooper and Leia runs for him, look at her face. Like it is pure terror. Like she really looks scared. Like it was really, really good acting. And she's pretty good at being a little boss. And like that's a quality that you can't just like have a little kid read. Like you got to kind of be a little boss, I think, to be able to like embody that. So yeah, I agree though. I am pleasantly surprised because like Jake Lloyd, that kid, man, like I saw him when I was about 18 years old. And I was at Celebration 1 and he was just walking around like before it started. Like you could just say, hey man, like, he was walking, it's nice little boy, but he was very like rambunctious. He had a great personality. I could see exactly why George Lucas cast him. But then at the same time, and I love Jake Lloyd. I love little Anakin. I'm a fan of him. But there are times when he just like Lucas threw him into the deep end, just said, just read the lines, no help or anything like that. And was like, well, what we got is what we got. We're going to edit it out and make it work. And it was kind of like, and then we saw the reaction to it. It wasn't cool. And so I'm glad to see history doesn't appear to be repeating itself with the kids, but does appear to be repeating itself on some other levels, unfortunately. Real Ben Maynard, hey Ben, how's it going, dude? Hey, just woke up, fell asleep on the couch. Always appreciate these stories, man. What people don't know is Ben's actually asleep on my couch. He's like the dude on the couch. Nobody knows how he got there or how long he's been there, but he's always been there. Thanks, Di. Darth Kruger says, yeah, TikTok's young Leia is amazing. I would love to see her get her own Leia series or miniseries, to be honest. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. This is it. Like when you really get down to it, like it would be cool if there was something more, if they had other things for her to like do, for sure. But I mean, she's in all 6 episodes of the series, to the best of my knowledge, and so that's a pretty rad. That's just as much the bait and switch of the whole thing, to use their language, is that Leia is kind of just as much a part of this, and almost as much as part of this as Obi-Wan is. So it's still, appropriate that it's called Obi-Wan Kenobi, but also, I mean, if it was a 70s movie, it would be like Obi and Leia, you know what I mean? And then it'd have like old like cursive font for the title. But it really does play a lot like Paper Moon, and a lot of the times, even down to like the old truck, which was pretty funny that we heard Paper Moon as the influence for Book of Boba with Grogu, but really, I think the most accurate Paper Moon tribute was in that last episode. Master Bink says, I'd like to see a scene where Vader visits Jar Jar's babysitter's tomb on Naboo. Jar Jar's babysitter's tomb on Naboo. Yeah, I mean, that would be good. I mean, don't tell mom the Gungan babysitter's dead. Obi-Wan just needs some Neosporin. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, well, what he needs is those little Jedis to be like, we are using our force powers on you. You are no longer burned. And, I know a lot of people were kind of angry when I did the report about the force healing thing coming back. But there is, to an extent, like, I'm not really crazy. Like, oh, I took some Bacta, now I'm okay. Or, oh, I force healed you, now I'm okay. Like I kind of like how, like, when Star Wars, like when somebody died, they had to like bring them back. They died. Like they kind of used like that sort of balance and magic kind of idea. And where I'm going with this is the force users doing the healing move is not necessarily something like the Sith can do. I mean, we have that moment where Anakin's on the bank on Mustafar when he's been burned by Obi-Wan, and he like touches his head. But I almost and it's like, it's kind of a weird moment. It's like, is he caring for him or what? The novel probably had an explanation I don't remember now, but my take of it was always like, he's putting Anakin out, like putting him to sleep, like he's doing like a little thing that puts him out, and like almost like hypnotizes him into sleep, but he only does it to help him survive because he needs them, because he wants his power. So that was kind of like my take on it. I still kind of don't, I mean, and I can understand how like Palpatine wanted to like wield the power of Anakin, and it was like hubris and a mistake. I mean, it worked for like 20 years, so not necessarily the worst idea that he had, but I was thinking about Palpatine in that moment, and like, there's this prophecy and all this stuff, and I'm always like, man, you should have just cut his head off right there. Gotta be honest. Obi-Wan needs some milk. He needs some of that green milk from Last Jedi. Just squirted all over him. Dell says, hey, they put a lot of thought into the show. It does seem so. It does. I like the level of like thought that went into this one. Like the writers on this show were more thoughtful than the usual writers on a Star Wars project. I think that they knew they had to come up with deep, good concepts about why things are the way that they are, and to justify its very existence at the same time. And so I'm happy. I'm extremely happy with the 3 episodes in totality. Like honestly, when I put all 3 episodes together, I feel like it's right now the show's a 9. And we'll have to see. The 4th episode, I believe, is the Nur episode. Like I was saying, that's like the real like midpoint of the series. And so I'm curious about the momentum going off of Nur and how that's going to feel. And if it's really good, then I think the series is going to be a home run for me. So I think the next episode is very, very important structurally. Will Vader and young Leia meet? Asked Violet. I don't know. That I don't know. They very well could, and Nur would be the best place for it to happen. You know, if it, and when we see them in A New Hope, it does seem like they've been talking shit to each other for a while. You know what I mean? Like she just gives him some like sass. She says his name. She's like, "Only you could be so bold," you know. She's like, "Bullshit," you know what I mean? So I was always under the impression that like Leia and Vader were playing like cat and mouse game for a long time, and due to politics and stuff, he just couldn't, cut her head off. Was Freck Zach Braff from Scrubs? I believe that is accurate, Justin. Ty Cox says, I'm bloody excited to see the flashback of Ben and Anakin. Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. I mean, I think it's going to be cool because like they got their lightsabers out, but they're not fighting as enemies, which is a good mirror to where we go, where we come from and where we're going in the show with the fights. And but it's also like I think a callback to like a happy time. And that the happy time does have something crucial that Kenobi figures out about how to take him down. That's how it was explained to me, anyways. Darth Grogu says Obi's twin brother drops in and says, "Hello there." Now he drops in, he goes, "Hello, Square," and then he leaves. And like, whoa, his brother's like a greaser. Arya says, "I don't know why I'm so stressed out about Episode 4. I think because Episode 4 has the most ambiguity, maybe." I think there's a lot of Inquisitor stuff going on there. So, and I'm not positive, but I think we might get some Grand Inquisitor information at that point, maybe. Like I said, I got it confirmed to me that the Grand Inquisitor is alive and will be back in the series. Like he will be back this season of the show. So, maybe we're going to hear the Grand Inquisitor is conscious. She's like, uh-oh. I saw Moses Ingram on Jimmy Kimmel, and she was like talking about how she shared the picture of her with the lightsaber training before the Kenobi series started filming or whatever during her lightsaber training. And she jokingly said that it's better to beg forgiveness than ask permission. And yeah, so I kind of think that Reva might kind of be in that kind of thing where she's like, you know what? Let's just get the show on the road. And she, when he wakes up, she might already get the machinations of her plan into place. Because, I mean, realistically, one of the things that we know, that we think we know, is that Reva is going to interrogate young Leia in these moments. So I've theorized that that's how she gets the crucial data to know where to go from there. That's the only thing I could really put it on that I know of, and the one that makes the most sense. If you're probing somebody's brain for data, you're going to get some pictures there. I did wonder too. Just want to throw it out there, speculation on my part, but that would be a potential moment to pull the image of Padme out of Leia's mind, and maybe we could see what Leia thinks she knows. I don't know. It could be fun though. Master Bing says about the canon breaking in A New Hope. When Vader says he was once the learner, he's talking about Anakin, and these two encounters don't really hold weight to him, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's such open-ended dialogue that at the end of the day, you could really put it wherever you want, right? I mean, when I left you, I was about the learner. Now I am the master. It's not time specific. It's just so fucking open-ended. It's a day. So, hey, Tyler, how's it going? Keep up with the great work, Jason. We appreciate it. Thank you, Tyler. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope everything's going good with you. I don't think I've seen Tyler since Celebration, maybe 2019. Ty Cox says, "Hey, will the flashbacks have Kenobi and Anakin wearing the Clone Wars armor?" I don't have a confirmation that the armor is on, to be honest with you. And I'm going to say I don't think so. but I'm not saying I know so 100% because I don't have it 100%. The conversations that I had about it were more about it's fucking happening. So I got that. Good. Got that. Like that's where I was at. My headspace was got that. Good. And then it was, what's the point? And I got that. And so like there was some more details I would love to have, you know. At the same time, while I would love to have it, still kind of cool to not, because it I mean it does leave a little bit of like, oh, so that's what they did, you know, when we see it. Arya says, when does Reba's flashback come into play? No way it's during the Luke scene. Well, that's where I thought it was like, but maybe it's not. I honestly thought it was going to also happen when she touches the Jedi symbol on Mapuzo. I thought that was the most obvious time for something like that. Nothing. I kind of get why, because I mean they were already kind of doing a thing where they were like, the Darth Vader fight gets going and you're like, yeah, this is exciting. I was waiting my whole life for this. And then it goes to happen, and then they only have so much stuff, and then they cut over to like Inquisitors walking down the street, and you're like, come on, man, I don't give a fuck about this. I want to go back downtown, you know, where Obi-Wan Kenobi's fighting Darth Vader. These guys, yeah, they're doing their thing. So I kind of think if they had put a flashback in there at one point, it probably would have been like, come on. And I wonder if there was one there and it was cut. Maybe we'll learn someday. Master Bing says, here's how episode 6 will end. Reva approaches a throne and sees a hooded figure. The figure has a dismembered head, drops it, rolling. It turns around and it's George Lucas saying, you miss me? And he goes, yeah. You had it all right, but the laugh, you didn't have the laugh. I don't know if Grogu will make a cameo, but there's a good chance his cousin Guru does. Sir Marshall, hey, how's it going, Mr. Marshall? The Marshall Stack says, I'm sure it's been said, but the little actress playing Leia is absolutely killing it. Yeah, she is. She's rocking it. She is. And it's so nice. It's so nice to that people are acknowledging that instead of, you know, being mean. And actually, like, you know, saying when something's good and giving it credit. It made me really emotional hearing Leia ask about her father. Yeah, that was like I thought that those moments, like when she's like, "Are you my real father?" Like the way that that stuff went, it worked outside of Star Wars. Like that just worked as two humans, and that's what was really good. And I thought it was so smart how Obi-Wan Kenobi mentions that he has a brother, and we all freak out because it means a new saga or something. But in terms of the text of the story, it's like he's mentioning that he's an orphan too. They are connecting on the same feeling. They are empathizing with each other. The connection feels real. It feels like legitimate. And then thematically, Obi-Wan lost a brother, and he's lamenting the loss of his other brother, of his found brother, of Anakin. And it's like, so it's like that conversation was masterfully written, I think. Like one of the best little bits of writing in any of the Star Wars TV shows we've ever had, for sure. And in some ways, it's even more efficient and effective and thematically on than a lot of what's in the movies usually. So that moment alone is something that I'm just glad the show exists for that. Jason's couch is comfortable. Yeah, it's why I do so many shows, because I want to go sit on my couch and like maybe play some Xbox or something. But I can't get on because, you know, he's always sleeping. Revenge Guy, how's it going, dude? Hey, dude, my got the new Xbox, and so we need to play. I'm ready to play when you are. This weekend, if you're not busy, hit me up. Jedi Dick Sensei, my favorite name in all of YouTube. Who do you rather be, Monica or Rachel? The truth is, as I would rather be the silent assassin of the writers of the theme song. Yeah. And also, I have never seen an episode of Friends. It's true. I was at the height of teenage punk rock angst, and that show was mid 90s sellout bullshit. Never saw an episode. Master Bing says, I do think Leia should be a part of it, even if Luke was switched, because these two really are as important as the struggle of Vader and Obi-Wan. Yeah, it's true. And you know, it's a really fun kind of dynamic that they have to play with us writers, because you can see, like I said, Leia can't do any Force stuff. She can't go too far with it. She just has to come off as really intelligent, really bright. One thing I've seen people kind of like not really dig is that like Leia will like, they'll be like, how old are you? Because she seems like she's like, 25 or something with her like demeanor and her like leadership skills. But then the next moment she's like getting in the truck with the stranger. And but that's what I just go like, you know what? She's still only 10 years old, so she's gonna make those dumb mistakes. But also, the other thing is that Leia gets in trouble all the time, but Leia, the whole character, is always about hope, right? So it's a thing, but I do understand where people are coming from with that criticism to some extent. Justin, night, Jason. Have to go to bed after work at 4 a.m. Night, Justin. Move over on that couch, dude. Justin needs to crash. Revenge says 54 views, 18 likes. Come on, people. Yeah, come on. Jedi Dick Sensei, I need you out there in full force, policing these people. If they don't like it, just hacha, hacha. Dale, you have a lot of nerve showing your face here. No, Alexander says, have you heard anything about the budget for the rest of the series? I have a feeling a lot of the budget would be saved for the ending last fight. I remember saying you spent like 3 months for number 2. No, it wasn't 3 months. It was weeks, but it was considerable. It was probably around 3.5 weeks worth of filming, like just for the final duel. And for full disclosure, I believe it was for the final duel, but my fear is it was both duels together, but I believe it was the final duel. And yeah, they did a ton of work. That one, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the guy who does the Vader sword fighting, I saw him around there all the time then. He was working his ass off. Darth Maximus says, great work, Jason. Thank you, Mr. Maximus. Arya says, we see Vader chair in Inquisitor HQ, but will we actually see Vader there and do anything? Yeah, that's been my question. And I can't place Vader there like physically. Like I just don't have enough on that. That episode is like super contained from what I understand. I'm not saying it doesn't like it but it's mostly like all on that place. And it made it a little bit harder on that one. Like, I got like where it was, and I got like, what's the big thing that happens? Leia is interrogated by Reva. That was like that's like the big moment. So yeah, that's the one like I said, I think I know the least about, kind of. But in fact, I mean, there's a lot of ambiguity going forward with the episodes, but we know the big moments, I think. Jason, do you know who made the prophecy of the chosen one? I don't, Ty. I don't know if they know. I think George Lucas is kind of like, in a weird way, like, in a good way, half baked it. It worked functionally for what he needed. And then we had that scene in Revenge of the Sith where he's like, you were the chosen one, you're supposed to vanquish the Sith or whatever, not join him. Was it vanquish, kill? I don't remember what he says. But yeah, he's supposed, so it's like it functionally worked, but I would have preferred if they had actually like laid out what the prophecy was at one point. But yeah, the series for me is about a 9 for Ben. Ben says it's like a 9. Yeah. I'm feeling that way about the series too. Like I said, always be honest, not a huge fan of some of the cheapness. Not a fan, like I said, of Nari pushing the thing down. They can't run around it. Not a fan of a laser gate. They can't just walk around when they totally can. Not the fire thing, but you can explain it all the way just as much as you could criticize it. And all of that is just, I would rather Darth Vader obviously can't run in there and just stab Kenobi and kill him. He can't kill him. He can't die. So we know like that can't happen. And but she did shoot like a barrel and started on fire. So maybe we could rationalize that Vader doesn't walk through it because he couldn't put the fire out because of the barrel. Like maybe it's a little different from how he started it with the saber versus that. I don't know. It makes no sense. Sir Marshall says, no doubt in a popular opinion, Vader was more terrifying in this episode than he was in the original trilogy for me. Oh no, completely, 100%. Like when you see him like in A New Hope with Tarkin and talking to Leia and stuff, he feels like a dog on a leash. You know, this is kind of what he is, dog on a leash. But when we see him in Empire Strikes Back and he's really attacking, he's like trying to try to convert his son. He doesn't really want to kill him. He does cut off his hand, but it's only because he's like, you know, a dick, but he's not trying to murder him. And then Return of the Jedi, he's just kind of defeated. Rogue One, he's a monster, definitely scary. The same kind of guy. But when you don't know where Vader's at and he's kind of like moving around in the darkness and stuff, yeah, I mean that's really the reason why. I mean, I think there's two reasons why there's not a lot of dialogue, and I think the first reason is that they were going for a horror vibe. I think somebody earlier in the chat called it like a Michael Myers vibe, and I could kind of see that. I could kind of agree with that kind of thing. And then I think the other reason is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is not back. But when we get to the final fight, he's going to have his quips, and I think he's going to be an active participant in the fight rather than just defending and trying to run away and playing diversion. You know, I think it's an actual confrontation. Ty says, crazy question. Do you have a normal job or is this your tube job? I have all kinds of jobs. Blake says, hey, Jason, cool stuff here. I feel overall super positive about the remainder of the series. Yeah, dude. Me too. I do like the premise of like the middle of it that we're getting right now. I think when we get to the nerd stuff, we're gonna get a lot more of the Inquisitor side of things and more look at that Imperial kind of vibe of everything. And then on the flip side of it, we're going to move into the like Jedi side of things, where they're at right now. Like, you know, every force sensitive in the galaxy wasn't eradicated, but where are they at? And boy, wasn't it kind of chilling though when Tala was like, we don't know what happens to them. That was like, I was like, fuck, that sounds terrifying. And there's definitely a good story there. I think it would be a good story for Saw Gerrera too. Because, you know, Saw Gerrera is the one who has to see so much shit. He kind of loses his humanity confronting this shit. Hey, Neil, how's it going? Real Big says, I love early Corran horn type seeds that are getting possibly planted. Just finished article. Great stuff. Right? It's fun, right? Yeah, I think that's what it is. And like I said, the mom, that is the mom's name. That is for sure the mom's name. I promise. I think we'll see Tor Valum as a main antagonist against an older girl. You think we'll see Tor Valum? I don't know, Dan. That would be cool. You know, there were a lot of concepts in that Trevorrow script that I would love to see them like mine. Ty Cox says, will we get a trailer for the second half of Kenobi? I don't know, man. I hadn't actually thought about that. You know, like I don't know if they do like did they do a mid-season trailer for Book of Boba? I can't recall, but that would be rad. At the same time, it's not that much further away. You know what I mean? Like within 3 weeks, we're gonna pretty much have it all. So, Old Country says, is the episode 6 duel going to be more intense because that last one was slow as fuck? So, Old Country, cannot promise. I haven't seen it, so I can't promise anything on that front, right? But I know the intention, and the intention was yes. The intention is that the next duel is grand in comparison. Like I said, that first one was supposed to be Obi-Wan defending and running and hiding, and he's scared. He's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's Ben, and Ben is a broken man, you know. But he's going to become Obi-Wan again. Max Zendel, you got a lot of nerve showing your face here after what you pulled. Sorry, Max. Was the canon version of Darth a nihilist fighting Ahsoka in Tales of the Jedi? Oh, Darth Nihilus? I'm not sure, man. That I wasn't sure. Like when I saw it, because I saw it like a cam of it and it wasn't great. I just thought it was like an Inquisitor or something. That was like my take. but it's hard to say. Is the duel will Obi-Wan try bringing Anakin back to the light side? That did happen. There were two things in that duel where he does, like, they do talk in the second duel. Padme does come up in the second duel. At least that's how they filmed it, but I expect that's going to still happen. So they seem like important moments. Master Binks. I also liked when Obi was talking to Leia about the fact that he grapples with family ties and able to keep a hold of one if the Jedi Order are not really able to now. Yeah, it was good. Let's do it. We're gonna play Fortnite later. Not tonight, but this weekend. Carl says, have you heard of the situation about Demetrius Brevesky, the dude who played the masked Obi-Wan? Have you heard about the situation about him? What do you mean? What's the situation about him? Like, in terms of what I know of Demetrius, he's the Darth Vader who's like stands, like the one like on Mustafar and stuff like that. And then the other guy does the lightsaber fighting, and Hayden's the face. I'm grateful Jim Turtle Jones came back to voice the Dark Lord. Me too. That was really, really surprising. Like, I started to think it wasn't going to happen. And everyone talked about it like down in Manhattan Beach, like as if it was happening, but it wasn't like he was, as far as I know, coming on to set or anything like that. So I thought, like, I didn't know if it was an assumption or if they knew. Friends is overrated, and Friends, the TV show, and in real life, you could do it on your own, Ben. No, I'm kidding. Violet says, was just me, or Vader sounds younger in the show than in Rogue One and Rebels? I don't hear the age thing, like how some people say like he sounds bad in Rogue One and stuff. I just hear Darth Vader. But I think the fact that the guy lives on life support and looks like a pink finger in a jar, I think we could kind of like forgive his voice wavering and being inconsistent in that way, considering his health. That's me overthinking it, of course. But Darth Kruger says, Obi having a baby brother that he barely knew and lost, and Anakin becoming his brother that he also loses, just makes Kenobi's life even sadder. It does. It's because I mean that's the thing, like with the Jedi concept is it's asking you to transcend your humanity, like essentially to become completely selfless. And transcendence it's amazing if you are, the Buddha and you can do it. But most of us can't. And like that's the thing, is like Kenobi has his times when we know he will, because I mean essentially when he becomes the Blue Ghost, that's Star Wars equivalency of transcendence, and he's the first one to really pull it off, I think. But when you get down to it in this series right now, he's not having a good time. Flashback next episode, though, I think it's the episode after. I was thinking it was episode 5, but here's the thing: is we were like, he heals up, he's determined. The flashback happens. The duel is then like into effect, right? There's some other stuff in there for the record, but a lot of other stuff actually. But that's kind of how it goes. And so, him getting healed up might just be like kind of like the whole episode, like for him, you know what I'm saying? Like the to some extent anyways. And then the flashback, the coming back stuff might be is like in the 5th episode, I think. So we'll have to see how it plays out. The scene between Ben and Leia was generally touching. I think it's what I would like to see more in Star Wars the most, says Nick. And Nick, thank you for being a channel member and supporting the show. Also, I'll wear Converse too. Wearing them right now. Welcome to the club, the Converse Club. Remember when Converse used to be like $20 shoes and they were like kind of good if you're like punk? Now they cost like $65. What the fuck? I need to get a new shoe. These aren't punk anymore. These are just like, these are just dad shoes now. So I'm not talking about your shoes are cool, Nick. I'm talking about mine. Jedi Chris says woohoo, and Darth Grogu says Luke dangerously. My father cut my hand off once, right? Mike is here. Jedi Chris says, will we see Uncle Owen again at the end? Master Bink says, off topic, but can we please get another Solo? I really liked it. Yeah, like I always say, man, like my take on it is that quote, like a Solo 2, never going to happen. Like something that goes from there will never happen. But Han Solo and Chewbacca are never off the fucking table. They're like Star Wars, it would be like Disney going, we're not going to do, Donald Duck and anymore. You know what I mean? Because the Donald Duck movie failed, so we're not doing any more Donald Duck ever again. But what they won't do, I think, is presented in the same way. I think they'll come at the marketing, at the presentation of the project from a completely different angle. And that ultimately would be for the best, I think. Quentin Lee, channel member, hooded friend, says second half. What second half? Oh man, I don't know what we're talking about now. I'm too slow at reading these chats. Arya says, watch Theory's reaction to episode 3, and he was happy and even clapped during the Quinlan name drop. But that darn Vader fire scene where he stood there left a bad taste. Can't ever win. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's one of those scenes where if you're really thinking about the psychology of the characters, you can make it work for yourself. I do think, though, whatever their thinking was for the explanation, I do think it needed a little bit of foreshadowing in that moment. Like if Vader wasn't getting the fight that he wanted, and he was like just like disappointed, didn't do anything about it because he was like, we're gonna do this right. You're gonna come at me, I'm gonna come at you. Like if he wanted a fight, he should have had like a line that really solidified that, or he should have said something, like he should have called him pathetic or something like that when he was on the ground, just in a way that made what we're supposed to think he's thinking. Instead, they just left it open, which so about that stuff. I was just listening to one of your earlier shows and saw you were live. Wanted to say hi. I'll listen to this tomorrow. Got to go to bed. Hell, Lambhead. Bye, Mike. Thanks for checking in, dude. Like the video when you watch it one of these days, today or tomorrow. Also, love the puppy. Dan the Man says, nice, man. Do you think we'll ever see the story of Vader Immortal continue? I hope so. Like, I don't know much about like the game cells and like what the expectations of that game were. Like, did it underperform? Was it right what they thought? Because the VR market's like kind of like not really that big. But I do have it. If you guys ever want to, I could like stream it one of these days. If you guys ever want to just like hang out and do like a playthrough or something and see the story. If you don't have VR and want to just do it we could do that one of these days. But I loved it. I thought it was really good. I would play more chapters if they made more, if they continued it in some way. And I hope there's another VR offering that's of the cinematic tone and quality of it. Like Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, it's fun, but it's ultimately like a very fluffy, I don't know, cartoony. I hope another cinematic VR offering is available soon. Who the heck played Vader in Rogue One? You have to Google that one right now. I remember his name, but it's on the tip of my tongue. Arya, in the final scene, the end credits scene has the name of the AI company that did Luke's voice during episode 3 credit scene. I actually think James Earl Jones was AI generated. That makes sense. Darth Grogu says, I can't wait to see the gallery episode for the masking of Kenobi. The gallery I said masking, making of Kenobi. Yeah, it'll be cool. I'd love to see some of the stuff about like them building how they built the new Vader costume and stuff if they do. Carl said, Demetrius said he didn't get paid for his role. There's a link on his Instagram which shows chats in which he reveals everything. Really? Oh no. Why would they not pay him for his role? That's fucking weird. Was he just like hired as like a stuntman for Mando, and they just had him around and then they didn't pay him, or what? But the only friends I need are Jason and Rob. Thanks, man. Dan the Man. Will Ben lose the mullet on Jabim, and will Cal Kestis cut his hair? Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I mean there is a chance he could emerge with a different hairstyle at that point. But the question you should be asking, Dan, is will he have the super mullet from Attack of the Clones during the flashback, or the Revenge of the Sith short hair? But it could be kind of cool in a way if he did have the short Revenge of the Sith hair for those scenes, and then when he comes back to his old self, ready to fight him, he gets the short hair back, and we see like the scraggly guy is gone kind of thing. Ty Cox says, Jason, do you ever team up with other Star Wars YouTubers and podcasters? Not really. For the most part, I mean, there's a lot of people who I'm friends with and who I like and stuff like that, but on the Star Wars side, not too much, honestly. I haven't really I've been doing YouTube consistently like this year, and like over the last several years I've been doing stuff. Didn't really take YouTube like too seriously or get too into it, and I was more into podcasting. But I started to feel like, like on a podcast, like when I was doing Now This Is Podcasting, we get like most downloads we ever had was 66,000 downloads. Order 66, easy to remember exactly how much the biggest one we had. I think it was the Han Solo dies spoiler episode. And but anyways, my point is I've never got 66,000 views on a YouTube video, but there's people that'll be like, what's Cornhorn's problem? And then they'll get 60,000 views. So it's like kind of like, in a weird way, I think podcasting is less efficient in terms of like funneling traffic to the site. Dan, wasn't there supposed to be a Maul animated series? I don't think so. I'd always thought if it would be cool if Darth Talon was his apprentice during the Rise of Crimson Dawn. Yeah, I never heard anything about that. If it is happening, it's happening, but I never heard anything about that. I think that might have been bullshit, but I'm not sure. Will Aunt Beru actually talk in Kenobi's? Asked Ty. I don't know. I've never heard of any lines from Beru. I don't know of any. Dan the Man says, they should bring back the voice actors for Luke, Leia, and Han from Battlefront 2 for a Clone Wars style animated series. I agree. I think it would be kind of cool if they started animating some of those Marvel comic stories too, because like that stuff's canon, and it would be a nice way to have it, in our collections too. Will Vader follow Obi to Jabim? I think so. I think that's what happens. I think the Empire comes to the planet. And then there's sort of a face-off between the Force sensitives and the Empire. And then, they got to save Leia, and Obi-Wan, I think, goes to fight Darth Vader to divert attention from there or something like that. Neil says, Jason, any more footage in Vader's castle? I was hoping we'd see him suffering or having recollections of Padme, maybe some internal dialogue. That's what we saw is all I actually know about was in those first episodes, and him getting put back together. It was like when I was like reporting, like that's the only stuff that I knew about. And like I said, in terms of the Padme thing, all I know is she's brought up, and then there was like, the episode 3 footage stuff. David Perrouse, who blocked me on Twitter. Dan the Man Immortal, had to be good if they brought back the guy that played Vader for Fallen Order. Honestly, I was ready for him to take over in Kenobi, but if James Earl Jones can still do it, then screw it. Again, off topic, but I feel like what was told with the sequels was too empty, because growing up after watching Return of the Jedi, my imagination ran wild about what happened and my mind didn't get nourished with it. Yeah. That's our kid minds have a weird effect on our adult minds, don't they? Carl says, Demetrius also said that he's basically broken, hasn't paid full rent in 5 months. He said that 2021 was the worst year ever for him. Very weird. Poor guy. That really sucks. That's like terrible. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder. I'll have to look at that stuff, because I haven't seen any of that. But gotta run, buddy. Have a good night. Bye, Ben. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night here too. And I was thinking Grand Inquisitor would do tricks during the Jabim invasion. Little did I know about episode 2 ending. Laugh out loud. Yeah. No, that was the thing, is I was like, I knew that the Inquisitors go there, and I just assumed he would be there, and maybe it'll happen, maybe it will, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think the Grand Inquisitor's in that stuff. Den the Man, honestly, we need some more post Return of the Jedi Luke stories in canon, either comics, video games, shows, something. Yeah, I think they will. I mean, I'm actually surprised how much we've already got. So I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they move in that direction pretty hard at one point. I also would like I wish someone would ask them like the right questions when they get press access, like how possible is it that you could do a Luke series? Is that possible right now, or is it impossible? Like, would it be too expensive? Does it take too long? Like all that, like these are kind of questions I just wish were asked. Hey Jade, how's it going? Republic Commando needs a sequel. Republic Commando, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll. I don't know. I don't think we'll get a sequel unless they ever develop it as a deeper property. But that would be fun. Master Binks, do you think Kenobi ran some biz with Hondo and his crew? Yeah, I would love if we got to see Hondo in live action, other than the Falcon ride. Ben says Ewan's been growing out his Obi-Wan beard again. Do you think he's preparing to start filming again? I don't know. I was wondering about that. Like number one, he may just like having the beard. He may just like enjoy it, Maybe his wife likes it. I don't know. But it could be that, but it could also be that he was doing press for it and he was like doing celebration and stuff. And maybe I'm only guessing, but maybe he thought like they want to see me with the Obi-Wan beard. Like, I'm gonna grow the beard, and I'll do that, and then I'll lose it again. But or maybe they're planning on doing something soon. I personally don't think they're going to be doing anything so soon that he would need the beard. But I'd love to be wrong. Like that would be fucking cool. Dan the Man, wouldn't it be something if John Watts show is actually about Jason Syndulla? Oh yeah, right. Like what if Jason and Syndulla and his mother are in some way separated? But yeah, because how old would he be 5 years after Return of the Jedi? Would he 6 years after or something like that? It's in that time frame, so I don't know if we have the precise time and stuff like that, but we could look at the time of that, and that could very well be possible. I mean, what if Hera's lost him somehow or something happened? But I like that idea, Dan. Ty Cox says, I'm grateful Lucasfilm and Disney are doing stories during the dark times. Me too. It's really fun. Like 6, I can't count. Old Republic stuff is way overdue. I kind of fear the Old Republic stuff in a way, because a lot of the designs I think would need to be revamped. And so I'm curious to see how the Old Republic remake is actually is taken, and that stuff's not canon. So I don't know to what level it's going to be redesigned. I haven't really had any scoops or heard anything interesting about that on my end. But those designs need to be made camera ready, so to speak. And I want to see what that stuff looks like when they do that. But then also, does it still feel like what people are expecting? Because they have to meet the expectations of the audience as referential to what they know, but it also has to be up designed from what it was, because it was meant to be low resolution video game from the early 2000s for the most part, until we got to the MMO, and then that stuff was a bit better, I think. But high, the original, and then High Republic is kind of going that way too, where they're kind of playing in that field. So I'm not sure what they'll do. I really hope Ezra trains Hera's son, right? That would be pretty rad. I like that idea, Johannes. Well, I guess Jason's age just depends on when he was born. He looked about 8 in the epilogue from Rebels. I think that's fair. I'm guessing. So you think he's 6? Okay. So if he's well, okay, but where do we end? When does it ends off? It ends off before A New Hope, right? So we get another 6, so that would make him 12, right? If he's 6 in Rebels, then it's 6 years after that is 12, so that would put him at the right age. Darth Maul is pretty good design. Did they go to Tunisia to film Kenobi? No, they filmed it all in El Segundo and the old volume. Hey Meg, how's it going? How are you? But Meg's waking up and I'm about to go to bed. That's what I say. If Meg's awake, I know you guys are okay. I mean, that's how I could sleep at night. Meg is kind of like our Batman. Like I feel like Commissioner Gordon to her Batman. Meg's up. I'm like, all right, I could sleep. The streets of Star Wars are going to be safe now. But yeah, all right, Meg, and everyone else, friends, like the video, subscribe to the channel, have the bell activated, lick the bell if you want to, whatever weird stuff you want to do, as long as it's on, I don't care. And I will see everyone tomorrow in the morning. And yeah, that's it. All right, everyone. I hope you agree with George Lucas.
I like spaceships.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about.
I told you. Oh, God.